Good morning, all.
Good morning, sir.
We will start with our next topic, that is molding cell. Before going to start with this topic, just I will give you an overview what we have studied and what we are going to study. I will draw a simple diagram. So we are studying the chapter casting. In this, what we have studied first, different terms. What are the different terms we study in casting? That this is the cope, then this is the drag, mold, this is gating system, riser, correct? So these are the basic terms which we study in this casting. Then we are studying these basic terms step by step. So what are the first term? Pattern. What are the actual product or part is there? According to that we prepare the pattern. So we have studied the pattern. What is mean by pattern? What are the different types of pattern? How to make the pattern? What are the materials used for pattern? And what are the design consideration we need to take care while designing the pattern? That part we have studied. So once we prepare the pattern, we will produce the mold. This mold we will produce with the help of pattern. Now to produce the mold, what we need? We need a molding cell. Then only we are able to prepare the mold. So from today's lecture, what we are going to study? Molding sand. So what are the different types of molding sands? What are the properties required of the molding sand? How to prepare the molding sand? These things we are going to see in the molding sand. Now, once we prepare the pattern, we will prepare the mold cavity with the help of molding sand. After molding sand, what we are going to study? We are going to study the gating system. This part we are going to gating system. So what gating system contains? So it contains screw, okay, runner, pouring cup, and riser. So this contains this pouring cup, screw, runner, and riser. After studying the mold design, we will study this gating system. Right? After gating system, what we are going to study? We are going to study the furnaces. What are the different furnaces by which we get the molten metal, like cupola furnace, electric furnace. Now, once we prepare this gating system, mold, then what we need to do? We need to pour the molten metal. How we will pour the molten metal? Before pouring the molten metal, we need to prepare that molten metal. So we will prepare that in the furnace. So next we are going to see the furnaces. Then after furnace, last thing what we are going to see is the casting defects. Once we produce the casting, what are the possible defects we can find in casting? That we are going to study in the last. So these are the things which we are going to study. First thing, basic terms, then pattern we already studied. In today's lecture, we will study molding sand. After molding sand, we will go for gating system. After getting system, furnaces, and lastly casting defects. This is the overview of our chapter. So today we will start with our next topic, molding sand. So molding sand, what is the purpose of molding sand? To prepare the mold cavity with the help of pattern. So these are the topic which we are going to study. So the basic is introduction. What is molding sand? From where we get? Second is properties. Properties of molding sand. What should be the desirable properties molding sand should have? That we are going to see. So some properties are refractoriness, cohesiveness, strain. Such are the properties of molding sand. Then types. What are different types of molding sand? Like parting sand, facing sand, backing sand, green sand. That we are going to see in the types of molding sand. Properties, then introduction. Then we are going to study the grain size and shape. What should be the grain size and shape of that molding sand? That we'll see. And then lastly, we will see the sand testing. Whatever the molding sand we have prepared or we are using, whether that is capable of withstanding into the mold cavity. Okay, so different types of testing we are going to see, like permeability test, refractoriness test. Right? So what are the properties we require? Whether that properties, whether that molding sand contains that property. How we will come to know? By testing that particular sand. So how to test that? That we will see. So with the first topic, that is introduction. How we get the molding sand? Okay. Generally, how we get the molding sand? So due to the breaking of rocks. So as there are different types of rock in different regions or different countries, we get the different constitution or composition of molding sand in different regions. Okay, so how we get sand from the rocks? So due to the heat, due to the wind, due to the erosion of rocks, we get the small particles of this rock, and we call it as a sand. From that we get the sand. Then there is another source of this sand is the bottoms or banks of rivers. So in India we take the molding sand from these either bottoms of rivers or of the banks of rivers. So due to the flow of river, okay, due to the continuous flow of river, that whatever the sand particles get, large sand particles get converted into small, and we get that molding sand. So we can find that molding sand in different part of India. Where we find that different sand in different part of India, if you consider India, in the Damodar and Barakar area, okay, in Bihar, then in Punjab, Gurdaspur, in the area of Gurdaspur, we find it in Gujarat, that is in Saurashtra, in Bhavnagar, we can get that molding sand. In Maharashtra, in Lunda, we get that molding sand. If you go to the south, in Madras, in Audi district, we get that molding sand. Generally, in the coastal area also, we get that molding sand. In the sea area, we get them. In other part of India, in Kanpur, Jabalpur, Rajkot, Guntur. These are the areas where we get this molding sand. Okay, so there are two sources: sea and river. From this, we get the molding sand, and from the different part of India. Now, ingredients. What this molding sand contains? So it contains silica sand grains. We actually call it as a sand. So these particles, this grain size is large. Okay. Then it also contains clay. Clay is small. Okay. Small particles compared to this silica sand. It also contains clay. It contains moisture. Moisture means water particles, and miscellaneous materials also it contains, like other metals it may contain. So we are going to study in detail the content of silica, clay, moisture, miscellaneous. Okay, in detail. What if suppose this contains this composition changes? So what we call to that particular sand? That's part we are going to see. Then last part is the classification. So this molding sand which we use to manufacture a casting, that is particularly divided into two parts. That is a natural molding sand which we get from sea or a river, and there is another type, that is synthetic or high silica sand, which we prepare in means uh, this is not natural. We prepare in industry by crushing the stones. We get this synthetic and high silica sand. Generally, we go for this natural molding sand, which we get from the sea and river. This is the basic introduction. Main purpose of molding sand is to prepare the mold. So we will see one by one. So these are the types of molding sand which we use to prepare the mold. So green sand, dry sand, loam sand, facing sand, baking sand, system sand, parting sand, and core sand. So these are the types of molding sand which we use to prepare the mold. So we will see one by one. So first is what? Green sand. So what is a green sand? So it is a mixture of silica sand and clay. Silica sand and clay. So what is the percentage of clay here? It is nearly about 80 to 30% of clay. So you can find the difference between silica sand and clay. So clay, which we use to prepare the different types of pots. Okay, so that clay absorbs the moisture. So we need clay in the molding sand. Okay, and here it is the silica sand. So it is a mixture of silica sand and clay plus water. So what is the water percentage here? It is about 6 to 8% water, and remaining is the silica sand. 18 to 30% clay, 6 to 8% water, and remaining is the clay. When this composition is there, then we call it as a green sand. I will just show you a video. So this video we have seen already. There you can find. Here you can see we are pouring the white sand. So that is called facing sand. That part we will see. Now here we are pouring the sand. Okay. So this sand, whatever sand we have poured, that is called green sand. So it contains silica plus clay, which is 18 to 30%, and some amount of water, that is 6 to 8%. Now this sand is whatever sand we are having, that is called green sand. Green sand means what? It is not in green color. Okay, remember that. So green sand means it contains water, some amount of water, 6 to 8% water. That's why it is called green sand. Green sand means it is not like that. It is green in color. Remember that. So whatever sand here we are using, that is called green sand to prepare the mold. Now we have prepared this cavity. We have prepared this cavity. Now see, whatever the cavity we have prepared, that may not have good strength. Okay, while handling it may break. While pouring the molten metal, it may break. To get a good strength, what we do? We go for baking of this mold, whatever. Okay. Now see here, if you check the hardness or strength of this molding sand, here testing we are going to see. I already told you the sand testing. So that contains this hardness testing. So we have prepared this molding sand with the help of green sand. Now, if you check here hardness, what is showing here? 3.5 scale it is showing. That part we will see. So now before baking, its strength is 3.5. To increase the strength, what we are doing? We are heating it. We are baking the sand with the help of heaters. Now what happens when we heat that? Whatever the moisture content is there in clay and in water, okay, so that will be removed and you get a good strength of mold. Now you can see the scale after baking. So it is showing 7.5. So before baking it was 3.5 and after baking the strength is 7.5 scale. Now this, whatever the sand we have after baking, that is called dry strand. Okay. So the first is green sand, which is used to prepare the mold. Once we prepare the mold, to increase the strength, we go for baking. Why we go for baking? To remove moisture and to get the strength, or to increase the strength, we go for baking. So whatever the baked sand is there, that is called dry sand. Okay. Now third is loam sand. What is loam sand? When it contains silica sand plus clay plus water, but here percentage of clay is up to 50 or 50% of clay. Now where we use the loam sand? When there is a large size of particle. Water percent is nearly about 6 to 8% CM, and remaining is the silica sand. When there is a large size of particle, and when we are preparing that mold, we require good strength while preparing. Okay, it should withstand that mold. So in that case, we go for large amount of clay. Large amount of clay. Here you can see 50%. When we use 50% of clay in molding sand, then that sand is called loam sand. When clay percentage is 18 to 30%, then it is called green sand. And whenever we hit green sand or loam sand, that becomes dry sand. So these are the three basic sand: green sand, dry sand, loam sand. Anybody is having doubt in these three sand first, then we go for remaining sand types of layer sand. Anybody having doubt in green sand, dry sand, and loam sand?
Sir, after baking green sand, dry sand should reduce in volume, means it can reduce in.
No, volume is not reduced. Only the moisture contents get vaporized. Size remains same. Size remains same. Size remains same, and it's only moisture contents change, reduces, means it's become dry, but it doesn't change the volume. And in loam sand, same thing, only clay percentage is increased. Okay. Now the next sands are facing, baking sand, system sand, and parting sand. So one by one we will see that.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
In dry sand, we are baking it to remove moisture from it, but
Yes.
that hardness will affect the pattern na, because it is increasing.
What it is increasing?
Hardness is increasing to 3.5 to 7.5 na.
Yes.
So
Yes.
while making the cavity, it will affect the that pattern also?
No. See, first we are preparing pattern, then we are preparing mold. After preparing the mold, we are removing that pattern, and whatever the cavity is created with the flask, we are inserting into the that furnace, baking furnace. And once it is increased, once it is kept in furnace, we go for heating it up to the temperature 100 degrees Celsius or around, depending on the molding sand. And once it is prepared, it becomes hard, and it will not affect the pattern, or it will not also affect the cavity also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
We are not hitting the pattern. Actually, we are removing the pattern and then we go for heating. First thing. So
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Sir, while baking that sand, no cracks are occur, no?
No.
Crack.
No crack. So we are not hitting that much. Okay, only up to 80, 90, 100 degrees Celsius. We are hitting like that. Only to remove the moisture and to get a good steam. That is the purpose of baking of sand, baking of molding sand. It will not break. So we are heating only to remove the moisture content. That is the main thing. To remove the moisture content and to get a good stream. We are not heating up to 500 degrees Celsius, 600 degrees Celsius. We are not heating up to that temperature to make it permanently hard. We are not making permanently hard because we need to break this after preparing the casting. We need to break this sand, so it should break. So that's why we are not heating that much. Now we will talk about facing sand, backing sand, and system sand, parting sand. If you observe here, now see here. So whatever we are pouring here, white color, that is called facing sand. Parting sand. So why we go for that parting sand? Let's see. Here we have the coop and drag. So in the properties of sand, we are going to see the property of cohesiveness. Okay. Cohesiveness means what? So it is attaching, the sand have the property to attach itself. The particle, what are the sand particles are there? So it will adhere to itself. So when we prepare the mold cavity of drag, so first what we do? First we prepare the drag. Then what we do? We keep the molding another part and we prepare the coop, right? And we prepare the cavity. Now we need to remove this. We need to remove this coop and drag. And after removing, we need to remove this pattern, right? So while removing, so here there is a sand in this area, and in this area also there is a molding sand in this area. Here also you can see in this area. So if you don't use the parting sand, I am drawing it with the red color, you can see. So this is a parting sand which is poured in between coop and drag. Wherever there is a partition of coop and drag, we pour the parting sand there. So why we pour parting sand? If you not pour, what will happen? Whatever the sand in coop and drag, so that will get joined. And it is difficult to remove the pattern after preparing the whatever cavity we have prepared. If you want to remove the pattern, so it will be difficult to remove that pattern, because this, whatever the sand which is in between coop and drag, that will get adhere, okay, that get attached. So to avoid that, what we do, we pour the parting sand. We pour the parting sand in between cope and drag, so that we can remove this cope and drag easily. Whatever the sand in cope and whatever the sand in drag is there, so that will not attach. It will get separated, and then we can remove this pattern easily. So that is the purpose of this parting sand. Here you can see we are pouring the parting sand on this, right? Here you can see, once we first what we do, we pour the pattern, we pour this, we first kept this pattern, then kept this drag, and then we go for what? Pouring this parting sand. Now once we prepare the once we pour the parting sand, then we go for facing sand. Now these are the important things. This is the parting line. This is our mold. This is, suppose here there is a pattern. This is your pattern.
Excuse me,
Yes.
sir, in that video,
Yes.
that colored sand, was it facing sand or parting sand?
Where?
In that video.
White part is. White part is actually, it is a parting sand. White sand is a parting. First we pour the parting sand to have the partition between this cope and drag, so that we can easily remove. We can easily see here. Here we have prepared the cope and drag. See here, first we have prepared this drag. On drag we keep on this drag we keep this pattern, and then we keep this. Then again we go for parting sand. Here you can see we pour the parting sand. See here. So what happens when we pour? We can easily remove that cope and drag. And after removing, we can remove that. If suppose parting sand is not there, then this sand will attach to the drag side, so that both the sand in drag and cope will get attached, and we are not able to remove that pattern. That's why we go for this parting sand. This is the parting. So what is facing sand? That we will see. So that is parting sand. Here in red color, whatever in red color, that is parting sand. Now we will see the facing sand. Now facing sand is the sand which is near the face of this pattern. So I am drawing randomly, so it will be like this. Okay, so there is no any particular shape for this facing sand. So why we do this? Okay, I will tell you. So this facing sand is freshly prepared sand. Okay, so this, whatever the facing sand is there, we use fresh. Fresh means what? That is not used previously. So when we manufacture any product by casting, so we remove that casting from that sand. Now that sand is used. So as we go for baking, okay, so as we go for repetitive use of that sand strength get reduced, because every time we are heating that sand in baking also, and plus in this casting process also it is get heating. So to have a good quality of casting product, what we use the facing sand. We use the facing sand, only the faces near to this part. So whatever the green part you are seeing, that is called facing sand, which is freshly used sand. Okay, then whatever the remaining part is there, so I will draw with the this blue color. Okay, so this is called backing sand. So here you can see so this whatever the blue part you see, that is called backing sand. So this is used sand. Means after preparing casting, we break that mold, we take the casting out, and whatever the sand, that is called used sand, and that is used to back this whatever the green part, that is facing sand. Understood this? So whatever this blue part is there, that is used sand, already used sand, and whatever the green part is there, that is fresh sand. So fresh sand is called facing sand, which is used near to the pattern, near to the cavity. And back sand, that is backing sand, is used as okay. Any doubt in this? Parting sand, facing sand, and backing sand. Any doubt in these three types of sand?
Sir, backing sand was previously the green sand.
Yes.
Then after we use.
Yes. So to get a good quality of casting product, we every time we need to use the fresh sand. Now see, so it is not economic to use whole this sand as a fresh sand. Okay, so this required more molding sand. To avoid that, only the faces, only the part which is near to this, pattern. So along that we pour this fresh sand, that is facing sand, and to back this sand we use this already used sand, that is called backing sand. Understood this part?
So,
Yes.
depending on where it is used, we call it as facing, backing, or this. But green and loam sand are only used in all three places, no?
Yes. Green. No, see this parting sand is all about this different. Parting sand is different. Okay. Then so whatever the fresh sand is there, means green sand or loam sand, that is called fresh sand. Okay. Whatever the green sand, green or loam sand. So this sand we will use as a facing sand. Okay, this green or loam sand we'll use as a facing sand, and whatever the baked or dry sand, that we use for backing. Right? Have you got this?
Yes, sir.
Whatever the green or loam sand is there, that will be used for facing as a facing sand, and whatever the baked sand, means our used sand, that is used for backing purpose. Okay, so don't be confused between bake and back. Okay, bake sand and backing sand. So these are the types of sand.
Sir,
Yes.
how much quantity we use facing sand?
So depending on it is as I told you. So there is no any means particular shape or particular thickness. Okay, so depending on this part size. Okay, so it vary. So they see the part size, and depending on that they will decide that. Okay, either they will pour manually or they will go for automatic process also, and they will pour. So it depends on part size. It is not there is no any particular size or thickness of this fresh sand. Okay, so at least it should cover the all faces. That is the main thing.
Okay.
So, there is one more sand, that is the core sand, which is used to prepare core. Okay, we are going to see one topic, core and core prints. So in that we are going to see this core sand. Okay, so core sand, where we use core sand, we use this core sand to prepare the core. Okay, that we will see what are the content and what are the materials composition of core and core sand, that we'll see. So these are the main types of sands. Right? Now we will go for the next topic, that is the properties required of molding sand. Properties. So these are the properties: porosity, flowability, collapsibility, adhesiveness, cohesiveness, which is also called a strength of this molding sand, and last one is the refractoriness. So one by one we will see the properties. What are these properties? And to test these properties, whether this molding sand have this property, we go for the sand testing. The last topic in molding sand, that is sand testing, permeability test, hardness test, that we are going to see. So the first is the porosity. So what is the porosity? We have the flask and we have prepared the mold. Now we are pouring the molten metal into this, right? So while pouring, so air will also get trapped into this. Okay, so some of the air will go from this riser and some of this air may trap into this casting. Okay, now what is porosity? So whatever this molding sand we have prepared, that should be enough porous so that whatever the bubbles or whatever the air is trapped, that should vent from this molding sand. That should be the porous means what? It should permit to allow gases to escape from this. Okay, so I will explain again this with an example so that you can understand. Can you see this video?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So porosity is also called as a permeability. Means now see. So this is the pattern here, which is in gray color. This is the molding sand, and we are pouring the molten metal into this. So while pouring the molten metal, so this molten metal may have the different gases, plus while pouring the molten metal, some air will get inside this mold cavity, right? So it will get filled. Then, as I said, some bubbles, airs may trap into this mold. If suppose this molding sand, whatever the mold we have prepared, is not enough porous, then what will happen? Whatever the bubble or air is there, that will get trapped into the mold cavity. If suppose it is not porous, then what happens if it is get trapped, then it will create casting defect in your casting after solidification. So you can see here original part also. Now here you can see this is the part which is prepared by casting, and if suppose whatever the bubbles air is not gone outside the mold, then this type of defects may be there in the casting products. Okay? So to avoid that, so your molding sand should have this property, which is called porosity. So how to check the property, this porosity property with the help of permeability test. So we have the permeability test. So that how to conduct the permeability test that we are going to see. Okay. So what is porosity? It should allow to gases for exit. Okay. Otherwise, whatever the defects are generated, that are called blowholes. So how porosity will get decreased? If you have seen, while preparing this mold, we pour the molding sand, and then we go for ramming. We go for this ramming process, right? So if you go for excessive ramming, okay, so whatever the sand particles are there, that will get closely packed, and once it is get closely packed, so there will be no any space to escape the gases. So here you can see the excessive ramming would reduce the porosity. So you need to ram so that you will get a good strength, you will get a whatever the mold you want, plus it should not reduce the porosity. That we need to consider. Okay, so this is the one property, that is porosity. This porosity should have in molding sand. Okay, then next is flowability. So what is flowability? Again the same. Suppose this is the drag, and we have kept this complicated shape, okay, of pattern. If suppose this pattern have very complicated shape, or like these shapes this pattern have, any shape will have. So when we pour the molding sand on this, right, and when we ram it, so this sand should flow throughout around this pattern. It should go each and every corner of this pattern, so that we get the exact shape of pattern, right? Suppose pattern shape is like this, so your sand should go each and every corner. If suppose it is not going, then you may get a different shape like this. Okay, if suppose this is a molding sand, this is sand which go each and every part, but here if you look at this part, so there is some gap. So why this gap is happened? Because this molding sand don't have the good flowability. So what is flowability? So it should flow easily around this pattern to get the exact shape of pattern, right? That is the main property of this. See the video. So this is the blowholes. Then the next property is flowability. So what is flowability? When we are pouring the molding sand and when we are ramming, so it should go throughout this pattern. So here I think there is no diagram. No problem. Any doubt in these two, porosity and flowability? Then we will go for the next Any doubt in these two properties?
No, sir.
Sir, what is system sand?
What is system? I think I know. System sand generally it is used in mechanical. When we go for automatic, okay, when we go for automatic, then what will happen? So in mechanical or in automatic, they mix this sand into the proportion, backing sand and facing sand. They mix it. So depending on the part size, okay, depending on part usage, okay, they mix this sand and they go for what they do. They mix this facing sand and backing sand, and they call it as a system sand. So they decide the proportion of facing sand means freshly sand and backing sand means used sand. They mix that and they use as the system sand. Okay, it is the combination of facing and backing sand. Okay, it is a combination of systems, and generally they go for when there is automation system is there, they will go for systems. Okay, so I think I remain with this sand systems. Okay, depending on the past part usage, okay, they go for this usage of systems.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
What is automotive system?
Yes, so that is called jolting process. That actually that is not for your syllabus. What we do here, in the different. So if you have seen the previous video, what we do in that videos, in that case, we pour the sand by hand, okay, and we ram it by hand. But in automatic system, so there is a shaker which while pouring the sand, that shaker will move and that will adjust the molding sand. Okay, then with the help of jolting process, that process is called jolting process. So that will ram the sand with the help of press. Okay, so jolting process is called automatic process. Okay, if possible in the next video I will show that automatic process. Okay, that is called jolting process. In the next video I will show the video. Actually that is not there for your syllabus. I will show that automatic process in the next lecture. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So it is 9:56. So again there are properties that we'll see in next lecture, that is collapsibility, adhesiveness, cohesive strength, refractoriness. These are the properties. We will see that in the next lecture. Just I will show this video complete. In the next lecture I will again explain these properties. Okay, in next lecture I will show you. Okay, any doubt in this? What we have seen today? We have seen the introduction. What is molding sand? From where we get? Generally we get from sea, okay, and river. Then what are the properties required and types? So in the types we have seen the different types of sands: green sand, dry sand, loam sand, facing, backing, system, parting sand, and core strength. And in the properties we have seen the porosity and flowability. Remaining properties like collapsibility, adhesiveness, cohesiveness or strength, refractiveness, that we'll see in the next lecture. We will see this and we will see the test, and we will complete this molding sand in the next lecture. Any doubt in this? What are the topic we have covered today? Any doubt? Or any other doubt in previous lecture?
Sir,
Yes.
in handwritten notes, you have given one diagram of draft allowance. I am not getting use of draft allowance in that diagram.
Yes. So see,